We've all heard about the success stories of using Ozempic for weight loss, but what about the success stories of everyone who's come off of these drugs? Who's talking about that? Well, that's what I'm doing here today with you. As a dietitian who's worked with a lot of people, both on semaglutide and not, in their weight loss journey, I want to share with you some of the natural strategies I use with my clients to help them keep weight off for good in the long run. So whether you are just starting on this weight loss journey using semaglutide or not, or you've been using semaglutide for quite a long time and you are preparing to exit, preparing to wean off, and you want to know how to maintain the weight loss you've achieved, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this entire video because I'm going to be giving you the knowledge and the confidence to avoid the yo-yo weight loss and rebound roller coaster ride that so many people end up on after using drugs like Ozempic. By the end of this video, you're going to save yourself a lot of headache, frustration, and disappointment by using my unique natural strategies on how to keep weight off for good in the long run. Let's do this. May here, I'm a functional medicine dietitian, and I absolutely love helping men and women over 40 look and feel their very best by optimizing their metabolism, health span, and hormones. This is the channel to be watching if you want the latest science and strategies on how to look and feel your very best. If you haven't already, you have to download my must-have food guide on boosting your metabolism down below. So you've lost all this weight, you feel amazing in your body, you're light as a feather, free as a bird. And if you haven't quite achieved that yet, but you're just getting started, just stick with the visualization with me on how you will be feeling. Now what? Let's go through step by step what you want to do to maintain the weight loss that you've achieved. So first of all, let's address one of the main concerns when people are coming off Ozempic, which is appetite, food noise, returning with a vengeance. How do we prevent that from happening? How do we support your body with regulating appetite? Now, as a dietitian, I'm going to give you kind of a 2-for-1. First of all, designing your meals to actually be satisfying and nourishing and not grazing throughout the day or skipping meals is a huge way to manage appetite. Now, just for a rule of thumb, quickly, a plate, every time you look down, should have 1/3 of the protein you need to be eating for that day. Half of that plate visually needs to be non-starchy vegetables. Again, fiber keeps you full, also adds to satiety factor. And we want to be eating as clean as possible. So the carbs that are on that plate need to be unprocessed and, again, as nature intended in the proper proportions. The protein you're having as clean as possible, the fat you're eating as healthy as possible. So having the best, healthiest meals possible is going to set you up for better appetite regulation. Remember, fiber, fat, and protein keep you full. Nutrient-dense foods also are much more satisfying without being totally over on the calories. You just want to make sure that every time you eat, snacks included, you are including fiber, fat, and protein to give you that sense of fullness. By the way, if you like protein bars as a snack, I made a whole video on how to choose the right ones to help stabilize blood sugars and also avoid junky ingredients along the way, so go check that out somewhere here. All right, secondly, on top of eating to manage appetite naturally, there is a really neat supplement that does act like a GLP-1 and has been clinically proven to improve hunger and food cravings. And it is actually an extract from hops grown in New Zealand. The name of it is called Amerisat, and the name of the supplement is called CaloCurb. They actually did clinical studies on both men and women and found that appetite reduction happened over the course of 4 to 6 hours after taking the supplement. And what's really interesting is that females experience even better results than males on this particular supplement. So pretty cool if you're female and you want a little bit of support in this arena. I love using this supplement during my nourishing fast to help manage hunger signals, but for people who tend to have a lot of food noise all throughout the day, this is something you can take before meals, especially before snack attack hours, kind of budgeting 4 to 6 hours before a snack attack. Having that CaloCurb on board just helps to give you that extra support. Actually, a lot of doctors are using a supplement like CaloCurb to support in the weaning process. As you are coming off semaglutide, you can come onto something like this. So it's really strategic and, again, completely natural. At the end of the day, remember, if your food cravings, insatiable appetite is actually related to more of an emotional or stress component, you're going to want to go and address that as well. That is going to be something that you do not want to ignore, because that's going to override all of your habits that you're trying to form up here, because it's coming from in here. I did make a video on food cravings all by itself, so if that's something you want to go check out, you can watch that after this. The second strategy I have as a dietitian to support my clients on their weight loss maintenance journey after Ozempic is to really clean out their home food environment. We are all human, and it is human nature to be influenced by the environment around us. So you want to set up your environment to help you win, not set you up to fail. So from a mindset standpoint, I want you to see your body as a temple and the environment around you as a food sanctuary. If you haven't already, this sounds so basic, but it's so important. I want you to do a pantry, fridge, and freezer clean out, like Marie Kondo style. So I'm going to break it down for you. I definitely have my clients clear their schedule on a weekend, do this with a partner or someone who also has a say on what is stocked at home, and just spend an hour or two doing this a couple weekends in a row. You don't have to do it all at once. Maybe you take a section at a time and do this Marie Kondo style clean out. So here we go. I want you to take everything out of your pantry, or, out of the shelf of the pantry that you're cleaning out, put it in the middle of the room, again, Marie Kondo style, and it's going to go in one of three piles. The first pile is, this is junk. I don't know how it ended up here, but I know that if I keep it here, it's going to end up in me, and it's going to undo the work that I've worked so hard to do. So that pile is the donate, throw away pile that doesn't need to be restocked. This second pile is the, I think this is a no, I'm not supposed to keep, but I'm really, really sad to let this go. And I want you to be curious here. Could there be a better upgrade or replacement that you could stock instead of this product? Number two, if this is a product that you occasionally really want to have, is it something that you could go and source outside of the home and not actually stock, but know that you have access to if you really wanted it? Or could you buy a very expensive pre-portioned version of this to help you treat this as a very special treat versus, again, having it all the time? The third option that your food would go into would be the yes category. This is definitely healthy, it's nourishing, it's nutrient dense, and I want to stock this. Now, I know we don't want to go and label foods good or bad from an intuitive eating perspective, but I do want to say something about sugar here. Some of us have a healthy relationship with sugar where we can eat it in moderation, and others of us can't touch sugar with a 10-foot pole, and you know who you are. For instance, I have a bag of 72% dark chocolate chips in my pantry if you were to open it up right now. Why is it there? It's there for when one day I'm going to bake with my kids and I want something healthy that's not semi-sweet chocolate. It's there also because I'm not tempted by that bag to be going past my pantry every day eating a handful or two or three of chocolate chips. They don't call my name when I'm tired or stressed or angry or sad. The second reason why I can keep these things around is I don't have a sweet tooth. I pulled that a long time ago. Some of you have a wicked sweet tooth and you know who you are. And I always use this analogy with my clients. If sugar is that ex-boyfriend who burned you so bad, and every time you try to be friends with that guy, like he texts you and you text him back and all of a sudden you're back in a friendship with him and you get burned again, this is the ex-boyfriend that you just know you have to block his contact. You have to ignore his text messages. You can't have him over for lunch, ever. If that's your relationship with sugar, you gotta break up with this guy. Seriously, break up with this guy. I'm sorry, I ain't no dating expert, but bringing that guy back into the house just ain't sounding like a good idea. You know what I mean? My third natural strategy on helping my clients maintain the weight loss they've achieved with Ozempic is to at some point wear a CGM and make sure that the food they're eating is balanced for their blood sugar. Remember, Ozempic was originally a diabetes medication, so one of the reasons why it works is it's really helpful for blood sugars. And we can eat in a way that supports blood sugars if we know what we're doing. I've talked about the basic principles of balancing blood sugar in my How to Eat Smart After 40 video, so you can go check that out. But CGMs are worth the investment if you really want to learn it for yourself. Consider it a graduate course on you. I spent over $2,000 on graduate courses per course on things like food service, which I knew I would never use as the dietitian in the wellness space that I am in now. And so, if you were to look at this as an investment of your time and energy, like a graduate class, it is totally worth it and so valuable. You will not regret learning this information about you. It will help you eat a certain way past what a diet or a prescription would give you. So if you want to work with me using a CGM, I'll link below a strategy call application and we'll see if we're a good fit for each other. Okay, fourth, this is super critical. We don't want to ignore how important it is to manage stress and sleep when it comes to maintaining weight loss. More than half my clients who come to me with weight issues look back and say during the times they were gaining weight the most, they were also the most stressed out or the most sleep deprived. So if you don't want to take any chances with your hard-earned weight loss, you're gonna want to have a strategy to build up your coping mechanisms against stress. For some of my clients, this might mean prioritizing sleep over exercise or over being productive. For others, it's about learning to say no to things, about drawing boundaries with certain relationships, about rearranging, assessing what causes stress, and being super curious, humble, and vulnerable about where things need to change or where you need to ask for support. By the way, if any of you are working the swing shift or night shift, it is super important to try to get a promotion or get out of that role as soon as possible. At a previous clinic I used to work at, I would literally get my patients' doctor's notes requesting management to change their work hours because it was hazardous to their health. There is a ton of data out there supporting the fact that night shift does increase risk for metabolic syndrome and obesity. One study looked at 27,000 night shift workers and found that obesity was prevalent amongst all women of all age categories and prevalent among men of 2 out of 4 age categories. So if you are female working a night shift, you are basically signing up for obesity in one way or another. And this is proven. So do not ignore that fact. On top of that, the International Agency for Research into Cancer has classified night shift work as a probable carcinogen. So this is literally no joke. You literally could not pay me enough money to sign up for a night shift job. I know some people don't have a choice, but if you have any choice in the matter, consider night shift work as bad as working in a casino with smoke filling the room all day long and you breathing that smoke. Just a reminder, just because you can function doesn't mean your body isn't suffering in some way or another. Now I want to get into some bonus material that I think is going to be super supportive for you. For my patients who have already weaned off Ozempic or have been maintaining weight loss for a decent amount of time, those who have started regaining weight or seeing rebound happening, I hands down am recommending a few rounds of the fasting mimicking diet, either Prolon, which is the commercial version, or my version called the Nourishing Fast, where it's based on whole food and is tailored towards your basal metabolic rate. Either way, the fasting mimicking diet helps to remind the metabolism how to burn fat again. So this is definitely a strategy in your back pocket if you're starting to see rebound weight happening. I'll link both of those two options down below. And again, I also did a vlog about my journey doing the Nourishing Fast, so you can check that out too. Lastly, I do want to mention a supplement that I have not talked about up to this point that can support weight loss in general, as well as maintain weight loss. And this is a botanical blend of 2 botanicals. It's hibiscus flower and lemon verbena. It's called Metabolaid as a trademarked item, but they've done studies on this and have shown that it activates AMPK, which we know also turns on fat metabolism. From my belly fat video, I talked all about AMPK, but it also seems to help with improving satiety. And we don't know exactly the mechanism, but they did a randomized clinical trial on 55 overweight men and women, as well as obese men and women, and found that it did show significant improvement in body fat loss, also body weight improvement, as well as blood sugar regulation, blood pressure, and satiety. The interesting thing is the people who were overweight actually got better results than those that were obese. Not sure why, but if you're in that overweight category, that might actually be a great supplement to try. Now you can find a version of the supplement on Fullscript, but I can't put it in a recommendation to the public. So once you create a free account with my link below, you can go and search for this supplement. It's by Orthomolecular, and you type in high phenolic. That's the name of the supplement that has Metabolaid in it. And the recommended dose is just 2 capsules a day on an empty stomach. So there you have it. Remember, there's a lot you can do to set yourself up to win, and weight loss is all about playing the long game. So I hope that the strategies I shared with you today are super supportive of you maintaining the weight loss that you've earned. I want to hear down below about your own weight loss journey and what has helped you keep your weight off in the long run. Until next time, we'll see you soon.